everyone, today we will discuss our presentation about analysis of neural network and statistical models used for forecasting of a disease infection cases. My name is Mostafa Abotaleb and my supervisor is Tatiana Makarovskikh, Department of System Programming, South Ural State University, Chelyabinsk, Russia. Let's go. Our contents consist of 6 parts. The first part is about tasks in our paper, and the second is introduction, and here consists of 2 subcategories. The first is dataset of COVID-19, and the second is statistics about COVID-19 in the world, and then we will go to the structure schema of algorithm, and then comparative between deep learning models, and then results, and finally we will discuss our conclusions. Let's go. Tasks in our paper. In our paper we have a task that analyze errors in a forecasting in the list of top 10 countries affected by disease using the following models. The first, neural network models, NNAR, neural network autoregressive. And the second, machine learning models, LSTM, bidirectional LSTM, and GRU. And the statistical models, nonlinear, BATS and TPATS, and faultless linear trend and ARIMA model. And finally, SEER model, epidemiological models. Our aims to discover the possible field of application of such algorithms. Introduction. COVID-19. We know that COVID-19 began in Wuhan in China and then began to spread in the world that resulted in millions of infection cases in less than 1 year, and most of cases from this virus occur among the elderly and the people with chronic heart disease, which is leading case of this is even in developed countries. In our studies, the first study for ARIMA model and faultless linear trend models and SEER models, state transition models. After 1 year, we using neural network models in NNAR, LSTM, bidirectional LSTM, and GRU models. And we want to comparative between these models to analyze the error in forecasting the top 10 countries affected by COVID-19. COVID-19.analytics package. This package created by using R programming language, but it has some drawbacks based on ineffective SEER models. SEER model, even in the beginning of pandemic, it was shown to be ineffective in predicting cases of coronavirus. For example, one article forecasting the peak of the second wave of infection cases that's in Pakistan will be in the August 2020, but actually the second wave in December 2020. So SEER model not effective for forecasting infection cases of COVID-19. So our aims is studying the machine learning models, linear and non-linear statistical models, application of the study models to the list of top 10 countries suffering from high number of infection cases of COVID-19. Discussing the algorithm, laying in the base of the schema of presented the result computational experiments held using this system. And finally, the system itself suggests the best model for the given input data. Dataset of COVID-19. The used dataset from official website from World Health Organization and the daily COVID-19 infection cases from the 1st of March 2020 to the 10th of January 2021. And also the COVID-19 dataset we separated into categories: training data and testing data. Statistics about COVID-19 in the world till the 1st of September 2021, we have 250 countries and territories, more than 280 million confirmed cases, and also more than 4 million disease cases, and more than 5 million vaccine doses. The structure schema of algorithm. Here, dataset of COVID-19, input COVID-19 infection cases time series, and here the step pre-processing step, scaling data, transform time series to be stationarity, transform time series to be supervised. And here separated the dataset into subcategory training data and testing data. So we using testing the last 7 days. So in the first time series models, BATS, T-BATS, Holtesner trend, and ARIMA models. After that, running neural network models in NAR, neural network autoregressive model, and after that, running methodological models, SEER models, and finally running deep learning models, LSTM, bidirectional LSTM, GRU models. After that, calculated the accuracy of testing training data, and finally, our system selected the best model for forecasting COVID-19 infection cases with the low error, mean absolute percentage error for the testing data. In our example, for last 7 days. Neural network models, neural network autoregressive model, we have three parts: input part, input layer, hidden layer, output layer. In hidden layer, we used 5 neurons for forecasting COVID-19 infection cases by using these models. LSTM, bidirectional LSTM GRU models, we have 2 layers for each models for this. So LSTM, we have 2 layers, LSTM layer and output layer. Bidirectional LSTM have 2 layers, bidirectional LSTM and output layer, and GRU layer and output layer. Recurrent neural network, RNN model. Data flow transformation are based via hidden layers in one direction, where the output is influenced only with the current situation. However, these neural networks process less memory and aren't suitable for modeling data sequencing and time dependencies in historical data. Two hypotheses. This limitation in RNN have been developed by to handle time series dependent learning problem. The basic essence in RNN is to consider influence of past information for generating the output. To this end, cell represented by gates influencing the output using the historical observation are including to generate the outputs.
LSTM model and GRU models. LSTM is a specified gates memory unit designed to mitigate the vanishing gradient problem, limiting the efficiency of simple RNN. This problem appears during the training where the optimizer back propagates and makes the procedure run while the weights almost don't change at all. LSTM process 3 gates controlling the information flow turned input gates, forget gates, and output gates. Basically, these gates are formed simply with logistic function of weighted sums. The weights can be obtained during training by backpropagation. The cell state is managed by input gates and forget gates. The output gates is generated from the output gates or hidden states. So, LSTM, we have input gates, forget gates, and output gates. And output gates and the intermediate cell state. These intermediate cell states and cell state in the next memory inputs. Here and new state 10H. So this is about LSTM model. So for also GRU units, GRU is basically an alternative for LSTM version. The proposed that improving the LSTM performance and reduce the number of LSTM parameters and makes the design less complicated in GRU. The input gates and the forget gates from the LSTM model have been merged in only one gate called update gates. There are only 2 gates in GRU, update and reset gates. instead of 3 gates in LSTM. The proposition of the rest and update gates concepts among the new benefits through brought by GRU models.
There was a coupling of the input and the forget gates of the LSTM by update gates and using output gates as a reset gate. The update gate provides the quantity of previously kept memory, and the reset gate ensures the combination way between actual new inputs and the previous memory. So here GRU units. Update gates, that Z of T, and reset gates R of T, and cell state, here set state, and the new state. That's about GRU model. About bidirectional LSTM, a bidirectional LSTM, that's an enhanced version of the LSTM algorithm. The current state can only be reconstructed according to the backward context. However, the forward context also presents the relationship with the actual state was not considered in the LSTM model. Also, by combining two hidden states which allow the information to come from the backward layer as well as from the forward layer. This figure is schema bidirectional LSTM. That's forward layer, backward layer, and here input and here output.
Results. That's result about analysis of mean absolute error percentage of COVID-19 cases forecasting for testing the last 7 days using different models in top 10 countries affected by COVID-19. So we see here the average mean absolute error percentage, and here this table that describes the mean absolute error percentage for neural network models and machine learning models for testing the last 7 days, and here average for mean absolute percentage error. We noted that by using BATS, T-BATS, Holtis, ARIMA models, that error less than using machine learning and neural network models. Conclusion. The considered system can be used to forecast not only time series associated with the spread of infection cases. Also, our algorithm is extensible and various modules can be connected to it, providing the construction of forecasts by various methods. Number 3. Analyzing the average error of forecasts for COVID-19 cases by machine learning models, we obtain that in common that they are particularly the same as average errors forecast by statistical models. Hence, machine learning models may be considered only for long time forecasting of these time series models. Results. That's result about analysis of mean absolute error percentage of COVID-19 cases forecasting for testing the last 7 days using different models in top 10 countries affected by COVID-19. So we see here the average mean absolute error percentage, and here this table that describes the mean absolute error percentage for neural network models and machine learning models for testing the last 7 days, and here average for mean absolute percentage error. We noted that by using BATS, T-BATS, Holtis, ARIMA models, that error less than using machine learning and neural network models. Conclusion. The considered system can be used to forecast not only time series associated with the spread of infection cases. Also, our algorithm is extensible and various modules can be connected to it, providing the construction of forecasts by various methods. Number 3, analyzing the average error of forecasts for COVID-19 cases by machine learning models, we obtain that in common that they are particularly the same as average errors forecast by statistical models. Hence, machine learning models may be considered only for long time forecasting of these time series models. The open task, using the consider algorithm schema, it is possible to create a flexible calling function that allows choosing from set of implemented methods the two